Why are you playing D.Va? Like, what is D.Va good at? Just like fundamentally here, without like getting too complicated.
D.Va's really good at just supporting and enabling your team. That's why I really like D.Va, because it's less just sort of, going DPS trying to frag out in Zarya sometimes. It's a lot about supporting your team, seeing what they can do as well.
Sure. And when it comes to positioning, why would you roll out on D.Va on a map like Gibraltar and not play Zarya?
Just access to high grounds. Whenever I'm helping my monkey, I can be in there, and as well, just I can hold high grounds easier. So say I'm on Zarya, and I go blue boxes and I have to drop. I can't really get back up there as easy. But if I'm D.Va, I can contest blue boxes, go somewhere else, and then get back up there again.
Right, exactly. So that's the reason why even in Overwatch League, you're starting to see more D.Va played over Zarya and maps where there is a lot of dominant high ground is because, yes, Brig Boops is still a threat. I mean, we went over this actually not too long ago in a Fearless review, but the value of the D.Va with the high ground is just so strong. Now, the key thing is with D.Va, though, is that you're actually positioning yourself properly and that you're timing your positioning properly as well. That, you're going in when your monkey goes in, you're peeling when their monkey goes out, and just kind of prioritizing that sort of a thing, right? So, like, synchronize your pressure. Okay, let's, anything in particular that you're looking at the enemy team? Anything that you want to try and prioritize the Matrix? Because I always try to like pick a couple of things to prioritize. What do you see?
I see nades, not specifically Matrix as well, but I see Monkey, so like denying the jumps or booping him in even further, trying to punish him.
Sure.
Stickies, Dynamite, and tickling Mercy as well. So if Mercy's low, just tickling her.
Sure.
Trying to keep the hit speed down.
Which do you think, like, obviously it's going to depend on the circumstance, but do you have any of those that are extra important to you, or that you prefer to do?
Probably the Dynamites would be coming to mind, but I don't know how actually well I'd do it this year game.
Yep.
But usually I'd look for the Dynamites and Stickies the most. Nades I have a hard time with.
Yep. Okay. So full Matrix, micro missiles dropping down. So one little tiny tidbit here. So what do you see here? What's impactful here?
I'm already almost half Matrix.
Why?
So
well, not only Matrix, but what else?
Half HP almost. Well,
yeah,
400 and
yeah.
So.
And it's the most important part of your HP as well, the armor.
Yeah.
Why? Well, let's put it this way. What could you do better?
Just play around corner maybe a bit.
Yeah.
I think stream's disconnecting from me a second.
Is it all right now?
I'm gonna close the thing and open it back up again.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I got it.
So what do you think you could do better? Just play the corner better? Play the cover better?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I scouted a bit and then I walked around corner, because realistically I'm standing out doing nothing right now, getting no volume, just taking damage. So I could have been around corner, or I could have walked up where my Ana is, so that I could help Monkey a bit better and lose less resources helping him dive.
Sure, because I understand what you're doing. You're trying to push cart, but it doesn't necessarily have to be you at this point in time. So I would take note of that. Like, do you have something to type up or write with right now?
I can get something real quick, I think.
Great, do so. Because it's going to be easier for you to remember if you're writing it down and not me telling you.
Need to see where a pen is.
Yeah, that's Real Sparker. It's Real Sparker, Ken, Snap. Those are all pros or semi-pros.
Okay, yeah, I got some.
Okay, sick. So just what's the mistake here then? Like, just if you get to put it as simply as you can. Like, how would you describe it as simply as you can?
Just pre-fight resource management.
Sure, exactly. It makes you feel any better. Even as we reviewed a couple days ago, even Fury scuffs us up. So it's important now. But the other thing too is, like, do you notice like how, like, what you matrixed and when you matrixed?
It was a lot of nothing.
There's a lot of nothing, exactly. So when do you need to matrix on a dive? There's like 2 times I think that are like very simply put.
Sort of pre-fight poke if it's gonna be regen in time, and then the actual dive itself.
Sure. I like to look at it as this. It's like when your monkey dives, this is when he needs matrix right now. Right? Yeah. Because that's when you're gonna see stickies, that's when you're gonna see sleep dart, that's when you're gonna see like just random spam. And you can look at it, right? Shots, stickies, like that's exactly what we're looking for, right? That needs to be matrixed, okay? Once he's landed and bubbled, the only real thing that you need to worry about is nade. And even then, nade isn't really that big of a deal to a monkey. He's not that scared of it. So it's good to nade, like eat the nade if you're inside. Like if you're on top of an Ana, you can matrix, of course, right? But you're not on top of an Ana, so there's no point matrixing right now. So like you said, you're matrixing literally nothing right now. Right there, maybe matrix an Ana shot right there. Then this is when you also flash your matrix. So I like seeing like half matrix an entry, a cleaner entry. Bubble, you can selectively matrix if you see anything like really important, like the Ana. If you see the Ana run in the bubble, obviously you know something's up. And then on exit, you should still have like a flash of matrix left, just so that you can exit safely. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Does it matter the alignment of which I go up? So say a monkey jumps where he jumped, and I was to jump to his left, I'd be getting like more matrix on him from that right side of the Ana. Whereas if I jump up right behind him where I am now, I can only matrix a certain amount of people.
I think always being split off of your monkey is good, almost always, because it gives you better vision as well. And I don't think it actually impacts what you can and cannot eat all that much, because if you fly here, I actually think you can eat just as much, really. Like you're still going to be able to put your matrix all along here, and more importantly, like you're not always like the one thing with D.Va as well is you're not always trying to matrix a location. Usually you're trying to matrix a target, at least if it's a solo target, right? If you kind of see what I'm saying. So you don't need to worry about oh, is my matrix going to cover all these guys? Just matrix your monkey, you know, and then that's how that really matters. So like stacking with your monkey here, not so good. But I don't want to overwhelm you here, because this is a lot of information. It's your pre-fight resource management, it's your matrix management on entering the fight, and then also the actual dive positioning. You kind of see what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of everything here. And we'll just kind of keep watching to see like what needs to be utilized better. But nice use of micro missiles though.
I think I saw a monkey go up there, but at the same time I was just focused on Ana.
Yeah, you're focused on Ana, but you're also pushing cart, and you're also less than half HP. If you went up there again, you'd probably die. So I think it's okay. He needs to know his limits without you. Okay, you just need to get out. Yeah. And like this is what you talked about with Zarya, right? Right? Mm-hmm. She's down. She's done. Now what does that mean for your team? On paper anyway.
Easier high ground push.
Right, exactly. Now your team can just go high ground and there's nothing to stop them anymore. Because the Zarya's not going to be there. Okay. And if your monkey was smart, he would have jumped high ground and your team would have rotated high ground, but it's unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, that right there is like what we want to see. You see that little bit of matrix and exit, you know? That's like that should be the goal consistently. All right. Okay, a little bit of matrix and entry maybe. Do you kind of see what I'm saying still with the matrix though?
Yeah, I'm a bit late with it. He's already like halfway in, and I'm like legit coming up behind him.
But not just that. But by the time you actually get here, then well, you stop it immediately, like pretty quickly. But you ended up matrixing air anyway. Did you try grav or like what's the deal?
Usually I track gravs quite a lot, but I don't think I was tracking it here.
Okay, so you're just flashing just because.
I think I was just watching for the right clicks.
Okay. I don't think you should be overly concerned about the right clicks at that range. Just focus on burning her down quicker.
Okay.
Alright. So, this is where you can kind of communicate with your team and say, hey, Ana, I'm going to get cart push. You guys can reposition high ground. Right?
Okay.
So we talk about how communicative are you in ranked? Because I asked about how communicative you are in general. How communicative are you in ranked?
Usually I'd be the main one talking.
Okay.
Pretty much all my maps.
Yeah, so you definitely want to like let your team know like when they can reposition here, because your Ana does not want to be on cart here. And yes, you would like to be in high ground when stuff happens, but you can always go high ground at any point in time, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right now it's really important that you guys control the space. I wouldn't drop here. There's no risk. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like, you're
Yeah.
giving up space here, but there's no risk. Like, I know, unless you're gonna actually like commit to pushing cart and getting your backline out here, you're now it's like your backline doesn't have high ground, and you don't have high ground. That's worst case scenario, right? That's like you don't get any benefit whatsoever to this, because if you want to peel your backline, you would like to be in high ground to do so, because it gives you like good vision of what you can do and like whether you can pressure, that kind of thing. This doesn't do your team any favors at all. You're just body blocking, and I don't like that. I mean, look at like, let me actually look at like where your Mercy actually ends up dying here. Just curious. Yeah, so like exactly. So like she actually dies from something that you could have contested if you were on the high ground. Now, would you have seen this? I don't know, but you're losing this to crap like this, right?
Yeah.
So prioritize the high ground position unless you need it on card. And again, like your being there changed nothing. You had no impact on the fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So should it be just default always high ground, and then if really need, then I can drop?
Yep. Default, whenever you can, high ground with cover, right? So that you can conserve those pre-fight resources. On this map, default card on first and second, to a lesser extent third. But that's just this map. Any map where you don't have to push a payload or whatever, or the payload's not that important or whatever, then you need to be off the floor.
Okay.
It's a good idea to just think about it. Like where can I be most impactful? This is really unfortunate. Okay. Now this is really big, right? Because what are you worried about here?
Sleep, grab as well.
Yep.
If they grab that there
Yep.
on a monkey, then he's basically dead.
Exactly. Now what you can do with this, by the way, is just a little bit of micro here. Well, you tell me, coach yourself here. What could you do theoretically?
I mean, this is just the flashy player in me, because I always like to go for eats, but usually I do a bit of a bait.
Yeah.
If I know he has graph.
Yep. Now what would the bait look like, just for people in chat?
You can do the 180 one, or even just look down at the ground, because if you look down, it just hides it.
Yeah, so you could just look down and back up again, and you can do that with the honest sleep as well. It's definitely worth using here. You guys do get high ground now, so that's nice. Let me look at this again. I don't think they had used bubbles at that time, so you had not seen them use bubbles, so this is not going to work out so well. I think it's still okay to try for. The only my nitpick with this though is obviously I'm not a huge fan of bomb engages and mobile metas. You had not seen bubbles, but what's the other issue here?
I don't actually have vision of where they're gonna go or anything.
And you do this. You do this. I don't know if you're trying to like assassinate the monkey or what, but like stay high ground. Because like look, if you remech here, and then you can just like booster over to here, and then you've got all this vision here. Instead you're not, you're all the way over here. I don't like it. Good try in the boop, doesn't work out. Nice. Okay. So some high ground control issues, some matrix management issues, some pre-fight resource issues, right? And as we go along, you can kind of pick which ones you think are going to be, like, you know your play better than mine. So you'll know which ones are going to be more impactful for you.
Yeah.
Just be very careful. Like, even peaks like that, just be very careful. A little bit of scouting information, but be very careful. Hey! Nice! This is exactly what we want, right? Okay, so what's good about this?
Well, it's an off angle for one on the monkey, so if they want to contest monkey, then I can contest them as well from somewhere where I'm not going to get hit. I've got cover on the right so that they can't shoot me from spawn. And also, if monkey wants to contest here, I can boot them down.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. You're on high ground. You have cover, so you're not going to get your resources burned early. And yeah, exactly, the off angle. So this is brilliant. Just don't take any damage. Nah. I don't know if I'd even use anything there. He's bubbled in, like who cares? Like you're not gonna do anything here. I think you realize the seriously booster is like, oh shoot, I should have done that. Flash it, there you go. And just shoot. Yeah, just shoot. Because you're like, it's a kind of a 1v1, you know, but it's just obviously it's a 1v1, it's not favorite towards him, so like, you don't care. And your Ana can just pocket you. Oh. I'm looking at this again.
Would it have been better for me to cut off his heels there, rather than?
I think so. Yes. I think so. What I would have done is I would have sat. You just sit right here, and you flash your matrix. Right. You just throw your full matrix over this area from the high ground. And then what you could do is, well, then what? What would you do? You full matrix on his heels, and then what?
Full matrix, and then probably take the attention of the Ana as much as possible.
Yeah, take the attention of the Ana. What I would do is full matrix, and then shoot just a little bit here, and then I'd probably boost her up over here, like this. Yeah. So don't like hold your position for a little bit, pull attention, and don't throw yourself in the middle of the fight, and even accidentally, because this is what ends up killing you. And ironically, like you do less, and you also die faster by peeling back too fast. Oh, you got res. Nice. Wait, did they netted Sparker there? Weird. I mean, this fight's just lost. Yeah, just die. Okay. Do you have any questions so far, by the way?
No, not so far, no.
Alrighty. So what's your job here? Yeah, go ahead.
I do have one question. So say, say situations where say the Cree's starting to peek out, and it goes for Widow as well. Sometimes a Widow would be going for a shot, and I know they're sort of exposed, but I also say I know that it's pre-fight, and I know I'm gonna need Matrix for the fight. Is it ever worth just sort of pocketing them with Matrix and stuff?
Yeah.
To see if they can get a pick, or is that just too risky and it'd be better keeping it for the monkey?
I wouldn't use your whole matrix on it, but yeah, absolutely. Like, would you rather them peek without your matrix, or would you rather them peek with your matrix? Because if they're undisciplined and they're going to peek anyway, and you might as well peek it with matrix. Like, you'll make it a 2v6 instead of a 1v6. You know what I'm saying? So and as long as it's a resource that you can get back relatively quick, like go half matrix. You know? Yeah. Go for it. There's not a whole loss. So, all right. So what's your job here?
Well, I see right now they're using projected, so it's going to be a dive straight after this, because they're going to be down in resources, and I'll probably have tracked the grab dragon at this point.
Yeah.
So usually I find it's less reliable to eat grabs, so probably to help monkey in and mark the Hanzo.
Sure. You can do both from a good position. Where should you go when you do dive?
The high ground.
Yep,
exactly. Their bridge.
Go high ground, contest, get rid of the Hanzo off of the high ground. You control this angle, then you can use this angle yourself to shoot and or look for an angle to eat, your matrix for your monkey or eat graph. You do both. Wow, they really are using resources, aren't they? And nade. Wow. That was a huge mistake from them. However, you can, I know you're killing monkey here, but you're screwed, right? You're screwed now. There's no follow-up. Like, how are you going to continue to push space?
Yeah.
You can't. It's over. And I know it sounds nitpicky, but now this is a big deal, because that means that you're not going to be able to help your monkey continue to press W, at least very easily. And look what else has happened, you know? This guy's still in position. He still has the high ground. You need to get rid of him, right? You need to get rid of him. You need to be up here, so look at how easy it would be to eat graph here, or dragon here, right? You're giving them opportunities to win this fight, and they shouldn't have opportunities to win this fight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm unsure. Let's just put it that way. I'm unsure about the peel of the blade. What are your thoughts? Because I'm honestly not too sure.
I don't know. I always feel like blades have just so much potential to turn fights that usually if I ever hear it, I always go back. But then again, I don't know. Sometimes it's just not worth it, because the Genji just won't die if it's only me shooting them, you know?
Yeah, sure. Let's just say if it's a nano blade, I wouldn't bother. But if it's just a naked blade, then yeah, try it. Uh-oh. Ah! Baited. It's okay. Your monkey's gonna survive. Fine. Oh, yeah. Oh, so unlucky. You almost had it.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get that one.
I did too. Okay, that was good. But yeah, the big thing is just like get to that high ground, get to that staging ground so that you can actually play the game, because you're not getting there. So what are you seeing so far as like being issues that need to be cleaned up?
Definitely, as you said, the high ground. I'm not taking enough of it. Like usually, like obviously I know like the importance of high ground, but sometimes it just doesn't click in me, and like I'll see like something I want to do, and I'm like, oh well, I can just do it the simplest way rather than think, oh, I can go on high ground and then I can do all this stuff. You know?
I mean, have you heard the old Wizard Hyung story when he talked about like cover with his supports? So
no, I didn't.
One of the things that he talked about in one of his videos was like how he had these quote unquote minions, people that do statistical research for him. And one of them was like studying the use of cover in like Overwatch League flex supports and compared to like plats. And I think the person himself was like plat. And they were so impressed with the use of cover in Overwatch League that they promised that they would have perfect cover usage from then on out in all of the ranked games. And they like forced themselves like to hard grind it for like 2 weeks. And they climbed like 800 SR in like 2 weeks or something like that. But it's like everybody understands, like it kind of applies to you because it's like everybody understands that, hey, high ground's good. Like obviously don't peak, like be disciplined with your high ground usage. But if you're good with high ground usage, oh, everybody knows it's good. But they don't do it. They don't like, and so whatever needs to be impressed upon yourself to like start trying and prioritizing it more, do it.
Yeah.
You kind of see.
So like reminding myself.
Yeah.
Every game, every few minutes, just you should be on high ground right now.
Like think about, is there anywhere on high ground that could be here? Is there a better like vision? Is there a better location here? Because it really is such an impactful thing. Now you're at a point in time where you're not going to be climbing 800 SR anytime soon. It's going to take some time. But like the point still stands. Do you want to go over your Zarya as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think my Zarya and double bubble, sometimes I get a little bit too tunnel vision because, like, again, like I know that I'm supposed to be playing back and reserved and keeping my Ana alive, and that's sort of how I win. Like, you keep the Ana alive, keep the Zarya alive, win over time. But sometimes I get a bit bored and I move up a bit, and then I get punished for it pretty heavily.
I wouldn't say that's why you play Zarya though.
Okay.
Because if you're playing, wouldn't D.Va just be better at controlling space? Like you could deny their dives just as easily. I mean, you can enable your monkey a little less necessarily, but like, I'm not sure that I understand. So why are you thinking Zarya is better for protecting Ana? Explain.
I think because the way I see it is because Ana and Zarya both thrive in the long fights where you're able to like build nano and build the charge.
That's fair.
So like the more monkey is like doing a soft engages, the more I can land bubbles on him, the more Ana's going to be building nano anyway. And then say it comes to the end of the fight and it's, you know, like me and Ana still alive, you know, we have a big chance because it's still big heals and big damage.
So you're not thinking so much as like protecting Ana directly, so much as like you guys have similar win conditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like by protecting her and making sure that we both stay alive, we can do them win conditions together. Okay. That's sort of my
Sure. So why are you playing Zarya in defense when you play D.Va in attack?
I find it a bit easier because like you have the high ground or you have the defensive positions like straight away. Like you don't have to actually grind for it. So like it's a bit more static, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure that you had your reasoning correct. But yeah, that is the reason. If you can start with the good positions already, then you're less concerned about playing a hero that can't get to high ground because you can start on high ground. Yeah, if you lose high ground, you're in trouble. But like at least you have that initial boost, if that makes any sense. So yeah, sure. Oh dear. that's funny. That doesn't look like high ground.
I think that's one of the situations where I was a bit nervous because like I don't really get games of Spilo, so I was like not really focusing completely.
One thing as well, you can get away. You need this needs to be bubbled right here. Okay. There's no reason not to be because they're not going to be able to hard dive your high ground instantly and punish the lack of projected bubble here. So you need to be like, hey, monkey, take damage. Especially considering you're telling me that you're super vocal. Well, let's see it, prove it, because you're down 40 charge here. Like he's just standing there. Have him go out there and take some damage for you, right? There's absolutely no reason. Go up there and zap the, you know, if it's just like 25, 30 charge. Like that's one of the things that I consistently work on with my Zaryas is like you need charge. Pursue charge, and then as fights evolve, obviously you have to be more disciplined with your bubble usage, but you're not going to get punished for not having bubble here. Their monkey's going to jump, and if your Ana dies from this jump, oh, I didn't have projected bubble, then she's an idiot. It's not your fault. But yeah, losing high ground there is pretty sucky. Oh my gosh, again. That's unfortunate. So really hold that. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Okay, so this is another thing as well. I'm sorry, I have to do a quick pause on stream. 1 second. Chat, my cat just decided that this is where we are going to sleep now. Hello, what are you doing? I just literally just crawled onto my legs. What are you doing? Okay. Anyway, I want you to try and avoid doing this. So this is something that kind of made me mauled. I think it was Dallas who did this a lot when I scouted them. They did what I like to call the double bubble, right? Which is no good. This is no good.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're stacking your resources, right? There's just no point. Like, he can use your projected bubble and then Winston bubble afterwards, and he increases the longevity of his stay, as well as making sure that there's a higher chance that you're actually getting charge out of this, because that Zarya's not going to be right-clicking the Winston bubble, she's going to be right-clicking your bubble.
I think I did actually mention this to the monkey in the game.
Okay.
It was either this game or some game that seemed
Great, but at least you're aware of it, because that's a big issue. Hi. All right. Sorry, the cat. You know, priorities. Giving high ground is a big issue with you, though. Like, I really don't like this here. Like, I get that you're like, oh, I need to drop to like pocket this here, but like, their goal is still to, whether it's through leveraging card or pushing whatever, their goal is still to clear high ground. If they all stack underneath and they're fighting underneath, you just don't care. Like, you don't care. You can wait for them to actually come out to here, and then you can punish them for not taking high ground. Like, the goal, like, you can't forget that these guys aren't stupid. They want high ground. And so you need to keep that in the back of your mind, right? Not only in how you utilize high ground, but also how you deny them taking the high ground. Because you're dropping here thinking like, oh, I'm going to help in this fight. But again, this is all that matters. If you guys control high ground, it doesn't matter if your monkey goes in and zaps for 2 seconds and you can't do anything. So
yeah.
And now you're in a position to where like your Ana's in a lot of like I don't know what's going on over here. Like, maybe you could have projected bubble your Echo. Like, where is your Echo, honestly? I mean, absolutely could have like maybe potentially projected bubble this, or at the very least you could have gotten rid of this monkey so that your Ana could have actually pocketed the Echo, you know, or maybe your Mercy could have been all the way over here, right? And your Echo's getting no peel because you're not helping your Ana with the monkey because you're mispositioned, right? So it's like a snowball effect where you're like, why is my Echo feeding? Well, the Echo's feeding because of you.
Yeah.
And now you kind of just have to get high ground. That was a little bit of a late of a personal bubble. You missed a lot. Oh, jeez. You missed some of the stickies on the charge.
I have a... It's not about this here game in particular, it's about double bubble. See, in a situation where, like, say a Tracer has pulse, but my monkey wants to... Like, he doesn't have nano or anything, and he still wants to do soft engages. Do I save the bubble for pulse, or do I just sort of give the bubbles to monkey and just, like, hope that I have a projected whenever pulse comes along?
I don't know, you tell me.
I personally prefer to keep it.
This is one of those questions where there is no right answer. It just depends on the situation. So I want to tell you, you tell me what's the right answer here then.
I think at the start it's fine to like give him projected if I sort of know where the Tracer is. But if I don't know where the Tracer is, the likelihood is that she's behind waiting for pulse, so it's probably best to keep. Okay, sounds good to me. That logic seems flawless. Let's roll with that. Fair enough. When you're not sure, think about it and trust your gut, because your gut was usually right. Yeah. Okay, just run. If you could get out here as well. Aww. Ooh, nice. Didn't. Yeah. Where should you? Oh, maybe you guys try and recontest. Okay, yeah, you guys gotta try and recontest. Yeah, I think. Where should you be going right now? Literally right now. High ground. Yeah, immediately go stairs to your right. Immediately. Instant, easy, projected. You can clear out the enemy monkey, and you can be lobbing right clicks for free. Whoops. That's not what I'm supposed to do. There you go. I hit fat fingered the Windows key. Hey, all right. All right. Now you run. And maybe, just maybe, you can keep high ground. Bubble's a little late. Run. Not a great bubble.
What should you be doing right now? ASAP. Think back to the first fight. Regrouping, and then what?
I'm not sure actually. Probably just taking this high ground.
What's prior? Like what should be the first thing that you do early in fights, whenever possible?
Oh, the bubble monkey.
Yeah, bubble monkey. Yeah, look for charge.
Okay.
Look for charge. Whenever you don't have something that I need to save bubble for, that they could instantly punish me for having, and when you have positional control, you need to be looking for charge. Even if you're on attack, you can use like, hey monkey, can you look for charge, and just kite / play slow after that, right? Oh, they might punish us for not having bubble now, and just make sure that they don't. But like, I'm tired of seeing us at 30 charge. It's getting old.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the way Zarya is playing this comp, there will be time you're like almost always 100 charge or 0 charge. That's just kind of how it is. But if you can at all change the fact, you should try to address it. And I think you can absolutely have some control of it here. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nice. Brilliant. Your monkey's just in.
He's having fun.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Nice.
I think that bubble was a bit panicky because I saw him low HP. And
yeah, he's low HP. I mean, I'm not gonna blame you for that. He's 1 HP, so like, yeah, it's no problem. No problem whatsoever. Give me 1 second. I've got a cat here in my nose. You know what, chat? You know what we should do? We should adjust we'll adjust the camera. We'll give him some fan service. We'll cat cam it. All right, give me 1 second. There you go. Again here, they've got people in spawn. You could be asking for damage right now, and you're just not doing it. Oh, this is very scary. Another thing as well, what are your thoughts on positioning up top with plane?
I think I've tried it before, and that's why I wasn't trying it here, because it was just really difficult every now and then whenever I'd be pushed and they didn't have any cover.
Okay, so lack of cover.
Up there is really difficult sometimes, yeah. And also because if you want to be supporting the monkey, you have to kind of be on the edge where there is none, you know?
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, you get ruled. Unlucky. So you kind of get split from plane. So like in general, you want to really avoid playing here. On this side, well, you want to be very careful about playing this side because it's easy to get split and isolated, right? And then also, like I said, pursue pre-fight charge.
If I have maybe Brig in there, is that okay as an off angle?
I mean, again, you tell me. Yeah, you're fine, of course. Okay, almost got Grav. I mean, this is where you don't pursue pre-fight charge, right? Sure. I mean, it. Oh. Okay. So yeah, not phenomenal with the Zarya. The grab itself is fine. You know, kill the monkey, go for it. Absolutely, totally fine. Maybe force the Reaper shift as well, because that's going to mean that either he feeds because he's going to have to shift and then stay there, then you can kill him, or he'll shift and drop off of high ground, which is a win as well. So the grab itself is fine. What were the primary things for Zarya? Keep it simple.
Bubbling monkey earlier, getting discharge earlier, and making sure I'm not getting split off from team.
Sure, that works for me. Okay, we're back in the D.Va. We'll go a little more with the D.Va then. Alrighty. Why the D.Va swap?
I didn't really feel like I was getting much value on Zarya.
Yeah, fair.
Compared to how I was on D.Va in first round.
That's fair. Okay. I mean, I kind of want you to commit here, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the hesitancy. This is good matrix management, by the way, as well. But if your monkey's primaling in, you just need to go. Like, you've committed Nano, you've committed primal, you need to go. And your team's not going. Your team's not going to be able to go unless you go, or they're not. They're certainly not going to be willing to commit. Like, encourage some balls. Like, go through here and then just start like peppering these guys up, and then now maybe your monkey actually kills people. And now maybe you're on it, like actually press this W, you know, and like just make sure that they could actually trust that they're not going to get melted through the window. I'm not sure that it's the best play here, but I think you just need to commit to it.
No, I think you're right. Like with because even if I open up that space in front of the big door, that's a lot of angles, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And you're full. You're healthy. You're healthy. You can do it. Because your monkey, you just committed 2 ultimates and you didn't kill a single person, and your monkey's dead. And now you're duplicating Winston, and like what? Like now you're still going. Like I just can't. I don't even know. Like you needed to commit there, and now you're probably like, hey, all right, for what? You've used 3 ultimates. And all you've done is died. That's all you've done. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. You got naded and split there, but like the big thing is you just needed to commit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I missed the intro to this fight.
So I called to Kree that I was gonna go left to help.
Sure. Alright. You know what I'm gonna say.
High ground.
Yeah, why are you not high ground? It's this. I like what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. You're just creating so much space. But the thing is that you could be doing almost the exact same amount of pressure and literally like triple the survivability by going high ground. You could be eating, you could be shooting, you could be pressuring, and also you deny anyone who is else also on the high ground. Because the thing is, it's not just about like you use the high ground yourself. It's you take it away from the enemy team. And you can see right now she's using it. This is scary. Go high ground. You'd be doing the exact same thing that you're doing, and be doing it twice. And look, instead, look what happens. Widow kills this. You're in the middle of this, so you're not in a position to matrix it.
And also, I can't see what on earth is going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is like you put yourself in the middle of the fight. It's complete chaos.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's game sense or awareness. No, it's just like your positioning is dog, so you have no idea what's going on. Okay. Monkey's bubble's instantly broken, so you gotta flash the matrix. Fine. Alright. Now, this is kind of funny, to be honest. Your Winston's kind of like being goofy. But this is where you want to be very cautious about this peak right here, right? Just be very careful. Now they're on Reaper, so they're probably not going to punish it, but this is where you lost your HP earlier, remember? And then you boost her exactly now. And it's almost as if you're peaked too early, but the dive is still too late. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, like, you solve this one for me. You solve this one for me. Like, how could you have handled this dive better, assuming your monkey isn't brain dead? Like, Demon is, I have no idea what he's doing. But, like, let's just assume that he waited a full second or two before diving here.
Definitely still the same thing as like first round, where going through that red side would just get me up there without risking that peak at all.
Right.
And it would also make sure that whenever he jumps, like I'm right there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't really know much else about that. Like I think that's really the only real thing I can do to help him get up there, you know?
Yeah. I think that's basically it. So for sure. Push cart a bit, just be very careful. Yeah, exactly. Push cart until you get contested and just peace out.
Yeah.
Sure. Flash it. Ooh, careful. No. No.
Blue boxes?
Yeah, blue box. If your monkey's gonna draw, like, here's the thing. You could be pushing cart here, right? But if your monkey's going to be pushing cart, is there any reason for you to be going to cart?
No.
No, there's no value here. Exactly. You're stacking up 2 things for the price of 1, and now look, again, the high ground is really what matters. The cart push is important too, but the high ground is what really matters. And I mean, Angel almost, I don't know what happens to him, but there's a very, very high chance that this guy clears or contests high ground. Like, I don't know what he was doing there, but he almost just like cleared your Mercy and Hanzo off of high ground by himself. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like, you should have stopped that. Okay, good. Now be very careful here, because this is where people turn off their brains. They're like, oh, Spilo said high ground, Spilo said high ground, Spilo said high ground. But what's important to notice here? 2 things. What is your team doing? What is your team doing?
My team is all low ground right now. They're sort of
But is there like an actual engagement right now?
no.
No. So what should you be doing?
Probably just trying to help them stage, maybe.
Maybe stage
positions?
or do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And save resources.
Right, because the problem is if you stand on high ground right now, you're gonna get shot, and then you're gonna be like, oh, this high ground's no good, and then you're gonna drop from high ground, and then you're gonna have bad positioning. So what you could do is you could even just drop back here and just hide, and just listen and wait, or you could do what you're doing and help. If your entire team has given up high ground, I mean, I guess you could give it up and then play with your team, and then when your team dives, you could then contest that high ground, right? But like, let's see what we do. Oh yeah, not great. Good. I mean, this is it, right? If you're not going to have high ground to begin with, you want it now. So there you go. He's just still up here. That's great. Oh, no. He got ruined. Nice job. Okay, good stuff. Does all this make sense so far, by the way?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much like high ground I actually give up until like it's pointed out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think at this point I was calling that I was gonna stay on cart.
Okay, and your on is still just like glued to the floor. Okay, that's unfortunate. Sparker's feeding. It's a lot of Matrix on a Wraithing Reaper. Let me look at this again. It's not too much. You're alright. Reaper in Gibraltar, man. Oh, 98% old as well. Visor. I think you guys win this.
I have no idea how I was alive. Absolutely not a clue.
Crazy, man. You guys are gonna win this. Holy smokes. I mean, there's not a lot to say there. That's just like sitting on a cart and hoping you survive. Oh, jeez. Gibraltar. What a unusual map. I mean, I, to be honest with you, I don't really want to review any more of this because it's just going to be you sitting on cart until something happens and then you die. So I'd actually prefer like an actual team fight here. All right, so we finish off with this. Okay. Why the swap to D.Va? Was it just I just didn't feel very good in Zarya and last defense? Is that kind of why?
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
that's what I figured. Because it did feel pretty rough. All right.
At first, I think I was positioned across, but I figured that like usually I don't get punished for it, but like I'm not sure how it works in like
across here?
top 500. Yeah.
I mean, you're feeding if you do that.
Yeah.
Well, why would you position here? You tell me.
Well, from experience, like it does do quite a lot, but that's in lower elos where I'd usually be.
Well,
it gets quite a lot of picks on monkeys that jump up there first.
That's true. You can punish monkeys to do this. So that's really the only value you get here because this positioning is set up to fight here, right? This general location. Most teams don't fight here. Most teams are fighting here, right? So if your position is fight here and then they like grapple across and your team's all the way over here, you're gonna get punished. So yeah, I see it as a cheese for catching monkeys for sure, but that's about it. Like you're not gonna get, you're not actually fighting or committing cooldowns or like you know going all in here. Got like cat hair on my nose. It's awful. You missed the boop there. Unfortunate. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the right idea. You're just like kabonk. Oh, there's a box. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There it is. Attaboy. Good stuff. So this seems a little weird, but with the Widow thing, you kind of have to treat it as if you guys are the ones diving. Remember when you're matrixing an exit? Remember that?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing here. Your monkey is like quote unquote exiting, right? Their monkey's no longer bubbling. I would probably flash Matrix like right now.
Oh, okay.
Just something like that. Like, to be honest, that's more of your monkey's fault than your fault. But just it's a little thing that you can do for like a little micro improvement. So like when they jump in, when your monkey's bubbling, there's actual trades. You can just save your Matrix, and then as the bubble breaks, there's that brief window of time where everybody kind of forgets that they have a widow because they're all focusing on the enemy monkey. That's when you need the Matrix. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's not just your monkey. Your whole team will just forget that they have widow. All right, y'all need to back out. No. Unfortunate. Still a lot of heat that she'll get though. Ooh. I mean, he got chunked a bit there, but like it was worth it. You absorbed a lot of cooldowns at the right time as well, to where your team could actually punish them for not having them. Questionable, Doc. Good. And again, just sit here. I don't even want, like, you could peek here for a brief second. So why would you peek here? This is something that I think it's important to clarify. You do want to peek the enemy team occasionally, but why?
Scouting. So
Yeah,
that
scouting.
at least I know where they're going up here rather than they could be going under.
The reason why I don't like this is they have, I think they have info sights, don't they? Yeah, they have info sights. You don't do this without Matrix. You need to peek quickly Matrix and then go back and then just sit, right? Unfortunate.
I feel like I was going for the boot, but I don't think it was necessary. I think I could have just literally set up there and spammed him.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to go in there. Yeah, exactly. You gave up your position to do that, and then what that does is that gives the enemy Ana or Widow the time to take this high ground away from you. And it also baits your attention away from something that actually matters, which right now is this right here.
Yeah.
So you could have helped that. So you put yourself, you give up the high ground. So here's the thing, it's like, will there be times when you need to give up high ground to pursue something?
Yeah.
But is this the time?
No.
Right, it's the cost, right? It's the cost that you have to consider. Is it worth me giving up high ground to do X? And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Because this entire fight's going to snowball based off the fact that this Widow is just sitting here and your soldier's dead.
Yeah.
The space that she's going to be able to control. Okay. I mean, you take it, just die in cart. That's a lot of ults. I don't even know if you're not dying in cart though. That's concerning. That might kill your recontest. Ooh, it's gonna be really, really close. And you guys don't have anything? Oh boy, chat, it's gonna be close. I mean, this is better. This is better. But again, I kind of look at the situation here. Well, hang on. What are you doing here? Who gets primaled in here?
Oh, I don't even want to watch this part. I just remembered what happens though.
Oh no. So you go inside to try and nuke the monkey. And then you guys get C9'd, yeah. I don't know. Again, it's just a situation where, like, I guess it was understandable why you go in there, because he's probably going to die if that monkey doesn't die fast. But it's also, like, you can see, like, even if it was probably the play there, how expensive it was for you to drop off of high ground. Like, how much worse, like, how much pressure you lost. Okay, so what are your takeaways? Like, the Zarya stuff we've already talked about. Like, well, what is the priority for you, for D.Va? Like, the big priorities.
Definitely the massive, like, main one would be keeping high ground rather than dropping. I drop too easily. I need to evaluate. Do I need to drop? Okay, well, I can drop now, but if I really don't, then I may as well keep it because it'll help later on.
Yep, exactly. Okay, and then what about the early fight resource management as well? What were your thoughts on that?
Think about my pathing a bit more. If there's a better path to go to support my monkey whenever he wants to dive. Not also not taking wide peaks like that, because that chunks down my HP quite a bit.
Yep, absolutely. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think I do. I think you covered basically everything. That was honestly amazing.
Sure. If you have any other questions, you can just shoot them to me. Obviously, tier 2 Q&A. So just whatever you feel like it, just shoot questions and I'll answer them when I can. But I hope that was helpful, mate. And I'll chat with you later. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right,
Cheers.
no problem. Cheers.